Beloved, let me tell you this mystery. The future is not something waiting for you at the end of time. It is calling you now. The person you are destined to be is not distant, not unreachable, but present, waiting for you to awaken to its voice. The whispers you often ignore, the desires that burn quietly in your heart, are not accidents. They are messages. They are the letters written by the hand of your future self, sealed in the envelope of longing and delivered through the language of imagination. When you close your eyes and dare to see yourself as greater, freer, richer in spirit, you are not daydreaming, you are receiving a prophecy. That vision is not make-believe. It is a glimpse of the self you already are in another realm of existence. The question is, will you listen? For your future self does not speak in words but in feelings, the sense of certainty, the quiet joy of imagining the wish fulfilled. That is the voice of destiny speaking. Do not wait for signs outside, for the sign is within. The echo you hear in your chest when you imagine boldly, that is the future calling. And when you answer, not tomorrow, not later, but now, the line is made clear. Your task is not to create the future, but to embody the message it sends you. Walk as if the letter has been received. Speak as if the promise is already yours. Act as though the future has bent down and placed its crown upon your head. For truly it has. The future you are destined to become is already alive, and the messages it sends are waiting for your recognition. The moment you believe, the message is no longer from the future, it becomes the present. The future exists now. It is not a distant event that you are running toward, nor is it a treasure hidden in the dust of tomorrow. It is alive in this very moment, waiting for you to awaken to its presence. The life you long for, the dream you cherish, the state of being you crave is already unfolding in a higher dimension of consciousness. What you call the future is simply an unseen layer of reality existing here and now, awaiting your recognition. When you understand this, you no longer live as one who waits, but as one who receives. The seed of the oak is not the oak in potential, it is the oak in essence. Likewise, the vision you hold of yourself is not merely a possibility, it is a reality already established in the invisible. It is unfolding, perfect and complete, beyond the veil of your present awareness. The work is not to create it, but to align with it, to step into its rhythm, to embody its truth as if it were already yours. Many spend their lives postponing happiness, saying, "One day I will be free. One day I will be abundant. One day I will walk in purpose." But one day is not a place. It is an illusion. The only doorway to transformation is now. The life you desire is not waiting for years to pass or conditions to be met. It is waiting for you to accept that it already is. The universe does not operate by time as you know it. It operates by state. You do not move into the future by days, but by consciousness. Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the person you long to be. Feel the certainty of that life, the peace, the joy, the accomplishment, the freedom. As you enter that feeling, you are not pretending. You are aligning with the dimension where that life is real. That alignment is the bridge. It is the key that unlocks the unseen and draws it into your visible world. The shift is not in time, it is in awareness. Consider a radio. 100 frequencies exist in the same space, yet you only hear the one you are tuned to. Your future is no different. The life you desire is already broadcasting its song, but you must tune yourself to its frequency. How? By thought, by feeling, by imagination. By refusing to dwell in lack and choosing instead to dwell in fulfillment, every moment you feel yourself in the state of your desired life, you are harmonizing with that dimension. And as surely as a seed planted in soil must sprout, your aligned state must express itself in the world around you. Do not measure your progress by outer appearances. The oak does not appear the moment the seed is planted, but already within the unseen the tree exists. So it is with your life. The invisible precedes the visible, and the future precedes the present. What you choose to believe now is the reality you will inevitably behold. Therefore, walk as though it is done, speak as though it is true, feel as though you already stand in the life you desire. The future exists now, and the moment you align with it, you step into its unfolding. Imagination is the bridge between who you are now and who you are destined to become. It is not idle play, nor empty fancy, but the sacred doorway through which your future self speaks to you. Every image that rises in the stillness of your mind, every scene that stirs your heart is not mere invention. It is communication. It is the language of destiny, written in symbols and feelings, guiding you into alignment with the life that already awaits you. So often we are taught to treat imagination as childish, as if it were a toy to be discarded once we grow older. Yet imagination is the most powerful faculty of the human spirit. It is the eye that sees what the physical eye cannot. It is the bridge across time, where the unseen meets the seen. When you sit in silence and envision yourself living fully, walking boldly, thriving abundantly, you are not daydreaming. You are receiving a message from the dimension of your fulfilled self. That vision is real. It exists already, and your imagination is the thread that connects you to it. Think of how your heart responds when you dwell on such images. Notice how your body changes, how your breath deepens, how your spirit lifts. This is not fantasy, it is resonance. Your future self is pulling you, whispering, "This is who you are. This is where you belong." And the more you allow yourself to feel it, the stronger the bridge becomes. What you accept inwardly with conviction must eventually manifest outwardly. The world outside is only the echo of the world you have already built within. Imagination is not a tool for escape, but for creation. To escape is to run from what is, but to imagine is to transform what is by aligning with what is greater. When you picture yourself free, you are rehearsing freedom. When you imagine abundance, you are embodying wealth. When you envision love, you are cultivating the vibration that draws it into form. The unseen and the seen are not separate. They are one. Imagination is the bridge that allows what is hidden to be revealed. Consider the architect who designs a building. Before the stone is laid, the plan exists in imagination. Before the painter's brush touches the canvas, the image is alive within. In the same way, before your destiny appears in time, it is complete in the silence of your mind. To dismiss your imagination is to deny the blueprint of your own future. To embrace it is to walk across the bridge into the life already prepared for you. But the key is to dwell. A fleeting thought is a shadow, but a sustained image is a seed. What you dwell on in silence grows roots in the unseen and bears fruit in the seen. Do not think lightly of the moments you spend imagining. They are the sacred meetings where you commune with your future self. Each image you nurture in faith is a step across the bridge, a step into the reality that already exists. So guard your imagination. Do not use it to rehearse fear or replay failure. Use it to see beyond appearances, to anchor yourself in the greater truth of who you are becoming. For imagination is not fantasy, it is prophecy. It is the bridge that carries you from longing into fulfillment, from shadow into light, from what you are. To feel it as done is the great key. The secret is not to wait for signs, nor to look for proof in the outer world, but to take the end you desire and embody it now. The mind wants to postpone, to say, one day I will be there, one day it will happen, but the spirit knows no delay. It moves not by time, but by feeling. The moment you feel the reality of your fulfilled life, you are joined to it. You are no longer reaching, you are receiving. Consider this truth. The world is but a mirror. It reflects back to you the inner state you carry. If you hold yourself in longing, the mirror shows you distance. If you hold yourself in fulfillment, the mirror shows you evidence. The outer life cannot resist the inner life you have claimed as real. Feeling is the magnet, and it draws into form what you already sense as true. When you imagine, do not stop at the picture, enter into it. Let it become alive, let it breathe in you. If you desire freedom, feel the weight lifted, the breath easy, the steps unchained. If you desire abundance, feel the relief of supply, the joy of overflow, the confidence of security. If you desire love, feel the warmth, the belonging, the certainty that you are cherished. Do not wait for these things to arrive from outside. Claim them within, and they must reveal themselves without. The error most people make is waiting for permission from circumstances. They believe they will feel joy once success appears, or peace once the problem resolves. But life bends in the opposite direction. Success appears once you feel joy. The problem resolves once you feel peace. You are not a victim of what is seen, you are the cause of what becomes seen. And the cause is feeling. Feeling it as done is not pretending, it is stepping into a higher law. Pretending is weak, it knows it is false. Feeling is faith, it knows it is real. Faith does not ask how or when. It rests in the certainty of already. This resting is the proof of trust. When you no longer chase, no longer grasp, no longer wonder if it will be, you are standing in the state of already fulfilled. And in that state, guidance flows. Intuition rises, doors open. You do not force the path. The path reveals itself. Think of the actor who takes on a role. He does not wait for the states to transform before he embodies the character. He becomes it first, and the stage follows. So it is with life. Your outer world is the stage that conforms to the role you inwardly play. If you wish for change, you must step into the feeling of the new role now. The script is written in your emotion. Therefore begin this moment. Do not say, I will feel it tomorrow. Choose the end you desire and clothe yourself in its reality. Walk as though it is finished. Rest as though it is complete. Let the feeling of fulfillment be your constant dwelling, for when you feel it as done, the unseen world bows, and the seen world follows. Every true desire is not a random spark, nor an empty craving. It is a whisper from your future self. It is the voice of who you already are in another dimension, calling you to rise, to expand, to embody the fullness of your being. When you feel the pull of a deep desire, understand that it is not something you are trying to become. It is something you already are, urging you to recognize it here and now. Desire is often misunderstood. Many are taught to suppress it, to treat it as weakness, to mistrust the longing within. But desire is holy. It is the current that connects you to the greater version of yourself. It is the conversation between the visible and the invisible, between the present self and the future self. To silence desire is to silence guidance. To honor desire is to walk the path of destiny. Notice the difference between fleeting wants and true desires. A want may arise from comparison, from fear, from the grasping of the ego, but a true desire carries weight, depth, and persistence. It does not leave you. It stirs your heart in quiet moments. It returns to you when you think you have let it go. This kind of desire is not placed in you by accident. It is a message, a seed, a reminder that the life you long for already exists. The desire itself is proof. When you long for freedom, it is because freedom is your essence. When you yearn for love, it is because love is your nature. When you hunger for abundance, it is because abundance is already your inheritance. Desire is the echo of the future calling into the present, saying, "Come closer. Step into what you already are." The mistake is to think desire means lack. It does not. Desire means alignment is calling. It is not showing you what you are missing, but what you are meant to claim. It is not a gap to be filled, but a bridge to be crossed. If you treat desire as absence, you chain yourself to longing. If you treat desire as guidance, you walk straight into fulfillment. Full men, do not ignore your desires, for they are the map. They show you the direction of your unfolding. Every step you take toward them is a step toward your truest self. But the step is not always outer. It begins inwardly. To honor desire, you must first accept it as real. Allow yourself to feel its reality. Embrace the joy of its fulfillment. Know that the moment the desire was born within you, the path to its realization was born also. Think of desire as a seed planted by your future self. The moment you feel it, the seed is alive. You do not need to force it into being. You need only nurture it, water it with faith. Dwell in the certainty that it already belongs to you. In time, it must break through into form. So listen carefully to your desires. They are not distractions, they are directions. They are not weaknesses, they are revelations. Each true desire is your future self reaching back, urging you to become what you already are. And when you honor that voice, you will see that the life you dreamed of was never ahead of you. It was within you, calling all along. Silence is the portal through which the unseen speaks. In the stillness of mind, when the noise of worry and doubt fades, the voice of your future self can be heard. It does not shout, it does not demand. It whispers with clarity, guiding you with the certainty of one who already knows the path. The question is never whether guidance exists, but whether you are quiet enough to receive it. Life is full of noise. The mind is often crowded with questions, fears, and endless analysis. We chase answers from the world outside, hoping someone else will reveal the way. Yet the deepest answers are not found in the clamor of voices, but in the silence of the heart. When you dare to be still, when you rest the mind and release the strain, something higher begins to move. You realize the guidance you were searching for has been within you all along. Silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the space where the eternal speaks. The future you, already wise, already whole, already complete, communicates through the language of intuition, hunches, sudden clarity, gentle nudges of feeling. These impressions rise only when the waters of the mind are calm. If the surface is disturbed, the reflection cannot be seen. But in silence, the reflection of your greater self becomes clear. Think of a radio again. Countless frequencies fill the air, but unless you tune in, you cannot hear them. Silence is the tuning dial. It aligns you with the frequency of your higher self, the self that already knows the end from the beginning. The guidance you seek is not far away. It is waiting on the other side of stillness, but silence requires trust. The restless mind wants to act, to analyze, to force solutions. Yet the more you struggle, the more tangled you become. Guidance does not come through force, it comes through surrender. In silence, you let go of the need to control, and in that letting go, the path unfolds. You do not need to figure everything out, you need to listen. And listening is only possible when you are still. Make time to enter this sacred silence. Close your eyes, release the tension of the day, and let your thoughts settle. In that quiet space, imagine yourself already living the life you desire. Let the feeling of fulfillment rise gently within you. Do not push, do not grasp, simply allow. In that allowing, messages will come. A sense of peace about a decision, a sudden vision of what step to take, an inner certainty that needs no explanation. This is the voice of your future self, guiding you from beyond time. Understand this, silence is not passive. It is the most powerful action you can take. In silence, you realign with your true nature. In silence, you open the door for wisdom to flow. In silence, you step into communion with the self that has already arrived. So treasure silence. Do not fear it. Do not rush from it. Enter it as you would enter a sacred temple, for in that stillness you will find the portal, and through that portal you will hear the guidance that never fails. The voice of your future self is waiting, not in the chaos, but in the silence. To live the message now is the final step, the great act of faith that turns the unseen into the seen. Your future does not wait for years to pass. It waits for you to embody it in this very moment. The guidance you have received through desire, imagination, and silence is not meant to remain in thought alone. It is meant to be lived. To connect with your future, you must act, think, and feel as though the message has already manifested. Too often people hold their vision at arm's length. They treat it as a hope, something to admire from afar, but not something to wear in the present. They say, one day I will live that way, when the evidence appears. But the truth is reversed. Evidence does not appear until you live as though it already has. Life mirrors what you embody. The moment you begin to carry yourself as though the promise is fulfilled, the world bends to confirm it. This does not mean pretending. Pretending knows it is false. Living the message means identifying yourself with the reality of your desire so deeply that you no longer question it. If the future has already spoken, why delay? If the message has already been sent, why wait to open it? Walk in the confidence that it is done, and every step you take will carve the path for its unfolding. Think of a person rehearsing for a role. Before the curtain rises, they speak, move, and breathe as the character. By the time they stand before the audience, they are no longer acting, they are simply being. So it is with your life. If you want freedom, walk in freedom's posture now. If you want abundance, let your choices reflect the wisdom of one who already has enough. If you want love, radiate the openness of one who is already cherished. The role must be lived before the stage can transform. Every action you take, no matter how small, carries power when it is rooted in the assumption that the message is already real. The way you speak about yourself, the way you treat others, the way you carry your inner state, these are all declarations to the universe. They announce, this is who I am, this is my reality. And reality cannot help but respond. Living the message also requires consistency. A seed planted once does not bear fruit overnight. It must be nurtured daily. So hold fast to the feeling of fulfillment. Return to it again and again until it becomes your natural dwelling. Do not be swayed by appearances that seem to contradict it. The outer world is always slower to change than the inner. But the change is certain if you persist in living as though it is already here. So begin now. Act as though the letter from your future self has been received and read. Think as though the promise has already unfolded. Feel as though the crown has already been placed upon your head. When you live the message now, you collapse the distance between what is unseen and what is seen. The future is no longer ahead of you, it is within you, expressed through every thought, every word, every step. And in that living, the message is fulfilled. So, the voice of your future self has been speaking all along, through desire, through imagination, through the silence, through the feelings you dare to embrace. It has been whispering, not of something far away, but of something already here, waiting for your recognition. The life you long for is not coming from the outside, it is unfolding from within you. Every vision you honor, every feeling you sustain, every step you live as though it is already done, these are the bridges that collapse time and reveal destiny in the now. Do not wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is only the echo of today. Live the message now. Speak it, feel it, breathe it, and the future you will not only meet, you will embody. For the greatest truth is this: you are already the one you seek to become. Thanks. Thank you for walking this journey with me. May you hear the whispers of your future self and have the courage to live them now. If this message touched you, share it with others who are ready to awaken to their destiny. Your support means everything. Stay inspired, stay awakened, and remember, the future exists in you right now. Thank you.
This is a moment of profound recognition of remembering who you are, and more importantly, what you are no longer willing to accept. Every moment we grant others yet another chance is a moment we step away from our own true center. We imagine that forgiveness without discernment will transform what has been hurtful or empty into something whole. But true power lies not in endless concessions, it lies in the clarity and commitment to what we know we deserve. In every moment, you hold within you the profound ability to shape your life's experience. Every thought, belief, and assumption that you hold about yourself and the world carries the weight of creation. You may have been taught that the circumstances around you dictate the quality of your life, that you must simply respond to what you're given. But in truth, you are the one who gives power and meaning to everything you encounter. The world you experience is the mirror of your inner landscape, a reflection of your own beliefs, your feelings, and your choices. Your life, as it appears, is not a fixed set of circumstances. It is fluid, malleable, ready to change when you choose to change from within. Each thought you hold, whether small or large, contributes to the unfolding picture of your reality. This is why it's essential to understand that you are not at the mercy of external factors, nor are you a victim of fate. Instead, you are a powerful creator, constantly shaping your world with the brush of your attention, intention, and belief. You may wonder how something as simple as belief can influence what seems to be an external, solid reality. But look around, and you'll notice that every invention, every achievement, and every triumph began in someone's mind as an idea, a conviction, a deep inner knowing that something different, something greater could exist. This is the power you possess to look at what is and decide to see beyond it, to believe in something even when there is no physical evidence of it yet. Through this, you give form to the unseen and transform the unseen into your lived experience. Consider for a moment the effect of doubt and fear. When you give life to thoughts of limitation, believing that certain goals or desires are impossible or out of reach, you build a mental wall that obstructs the fulfillment of those very desires. And the more you focus on what you think you lack, the more your outer reality reflects that lack. You may notice situations where opportunities slip by, where relationships feel strained, or where success seems elusive. Yet, as soon as you shift your attention and claim what you truly desire as though it were already yours, everything begins to shift. This power is not magic, it is simply the nature of consciousness. You cannot underestimate the importance of what you choose to accept as true. If you believe yourself to be limited, to be undeserving, or to be at the mercy of others' opinions, your experience will mirror these beliefs. But when you recognize yourself as the creator, you become free to redefine what is possible. The limitations you once felt dissolve, not because something in the world changes, but because you have changed your perspective on the world. You have released the beliefs that no longer serve you. This responsibility is not always easy. There will be moments when you feel uncertain, when old patterns of thought try to pull you back into habitual fears and doubts. But remember, in each of those moments, you have a choice. Will you continue to empower thoughts of fear and separation? Or will you claim your birthright as a creator, choosing thoughts that align with love, abundance, and possibility? This is the path of mastery, and it is not one of struggle or straying, but one of ease and surrender. When you realize your role as the creator, you stop struggling to force outcomes. Instead, you cultivate the beliefs that will naturally bring those outcomes into being. This understanding that you are the creator is liberating. You are no longer bound by the limitations of your past or by the expectations of others. You are free to envision a reality that serves your highest aspirations, to imagine a life where joy, peace, and abundance are not fleeting moments but a natural state of being. Every day, every moment offers you an opportunity to align more fully with this truth. With practice, this becomes the foundation of your existence, a place of unwavering inner strength and assurance. So embrace this power. It is the key to transforming your life in ways that you may have thought were beyond reach. When you fully claim the role of creator, the world around you becomes a reflection of your deepest desires and most authentic self. You are no longer a passive observer but an active participant, shaping a life that resonates with your true essence, a life that is entirely, beautifully yours. The idea of obligation is one of the most deeply ingrained illusions we carry, shaping how we interact with others, make decisions, and live our lives. We are taught early on to feel responsible for others' happiness, to meet the expectations placed upon us, and to follow a path that is not necessarily our own. While duty and responsibility can be noble concepts, the illusion of obligation often serves to keep us from following our true desires and living in alignment with our authentic selves. When we release this illusion, we free ourselves to make choices that genuinely honor who we are, rather than who we believe we're supposed to be. Imagine that every time you feel obligated to act, there is a subtle sense of resentment or resistance within. Perhaps you feel obligated to say yes to a request that you truly want to decline, or maybe you feel compelled to stay in a situation that no longer serves you. These obligations often arise from a fear of disappointing others, a desire to avoid conflict, or an ingrained belief that it's your role to make others happy. But when you look closely, you'll see that each act rooted in obligation rather than desire comes at a personal cost, drawing energy away from your true passions, limiting your freedom, and diminishing your joy. It's also helpful to remember that those who truly respect and care for you will honor your choices, even when they don't align with their preferences. Saying no when you mean it allows others to understand you authentically, building trust rather than feeding a false sense of duty. This does not mean cutting off compassion or support for those you care about. Instead, it means choosing to give freely and authentically, rather than out of obligation or guilt. When you do so, the energy you bring to these interactions is vibrant, unforced, and genuinely uplifting for all involved. By shedding obligation, you also create space for spontaneity, joy, and meaningful connections. When you are no longer burdened by the weight of fulfilling others' expectations, you are free to explore your own interests, develop your own gifts, and engage in relationships that support mutual growth. People around you will see this freedom, and they may even feel inspired to question their own obligations, breaking free from the expectations that limit them. In this way, the act of releasing obligation not only liberates you, but also serves as a powerful example for others, showing that it is possible to live authentically without sacrificing relationships or harmony. When you stop acting from obligation, you strengthen your own self-respect. You begin to listen to your own needs and desires and realize that honoring them is an essential part of living a fulfilled life. This self-respect becomes a foundation, allowing you to interact with others from a place of fullness rather than lack. Relationships born from genuine desire rather than duty are stronger, richer, and more meaningful. You attract those who genuinely align with your values, leading to connections based on mutual respect and shared purpose. Standing in the authority of your decision is an act of self-empowerment that few truly understand, yet it is central to creating a life of purpose, fulfillment, and authenticity. Every choice you make is a reflection of your values, beliefs, and desires, and when you fully own those choices, you align yourself with an inner power that transforms your experience. This authority is not about forcing your will upon others or ignoring different perspectives. Rather, it is about understanding that your life is your responsibility and that every decision is a statement of who you are and what you're willing to create in the world. Authority in decision-making begins with clarity. When you know what you want, truly know, with conviction, doubt and hesitation start to lose their grip. The world is full of distractions, opinions, and pressures that can pull you in countless directions. Friends, family, and society often have their own views on what you should do or what's best for you. But as you grow more connected to your inner guidance, you realize that no one else can make those choices for you. No one else is living your life or facing the unique circumstances and goals that shape your path. By clarifying your own intentions and values, you lay a foundation for decisions that are rooted in authenticity rather than in fear of judgment or desire for approval. When you make a decision, especially one that feels significant or transformative, you may feel the pull of old habits or the whispers of doubt trying to persuade you otherwise. This is natural, yet it is also a powerful opportunity to practice standing in the authority of your choice. It's easy to second-guess ourselves when faced with resistance or the unknown. Yet every moment of hesitation is a chance to strengthen your resolve. When you continually waver, you send mixed signals to both yourself and the world around you, creating uncertainty rather than momentum. But when you hold steady, trusting that your choice is aligned with your deeper self. You build inner confidence and cultivate a presence that others can feel and respect. Part of standing in the authority of your decision is about embracing the consequences of that decision, whether they unfold as planned or not. When you take full responsibility for your choices, you step into true freedom. This doesn't mean that every decision will yield perfect results, but it does mean that you honor the path you've chosen, learning from any challenges or outcomes along the way. By taking responsibility, you develop resilience, discovering that your worth and ability to create are not diminished by setbacks. Instead, every experience becomes a lesson, a stepping stone that refines your understanding and empowers future choices. To stand in the authority of your decision also means setting clear boundaries and honoring them. When you make a choice, especially one that might challenge others' expectations, some may resist or question your path. In these moments, it's essential to remain unwavering, communicating your decision calmly but firmly. This doesn't require aggression, rather, it calls for a peaceful strength, an assurance that you know what's best for your own life. People may or may not understand, but when they sense the calm certainty in your stance, they are more likely to respect it, even if they do not agree. The authority of your decision impacts not only how others perceive you, but also how you perceive yourself. Each time you stand firm, you reinforce your self-trust, strengthening the bond between your intentions and your actions. When you honor your choices, your self-respect grows, and over time this self-respect becomes a wellspring of inner peace and confidence. You no longer feel the need to seek validation or reassurance from others, because you know that you are acting from a place of integrity. This self-assurance opens doors to greater possibilities, for when you trust yourself, you naturally attract situations and people that align with your authenticity. Decisions are powerful because they set energy in motion. When you fully stand by a choice, you harness a focused force that moves you forward, attracting the resources, connections, and circumstances that support your journey. Conversely, wavering or doubting your choices diffuses this energy, creating obstacles and delays. But when you stand firm, you give life to your vision, making it more real with every action you take in alignment with it. You signal to the world and to yourself that you are committed, willing to do what it takes to bring your intentions into reality. In embracing the authority of your decision, you unlock a freedom that many long for but few realize. You discover that your life is not shaped by external influences, but by the strength and clarity of your inner commitments. Every choice becomes an act of creation, an opportunity to bring forth the life you desire. Through this authority, you stand as the author of your own story, empowered, purposeful, and unwavering in the path you've chosen. And in doing so, you not only transform your own life, but inspire others to find the same courage and conviction within themselves. Recognizing your worth is one of the most transformative journeys you can undertake. It goes beyond simply feeling confident or taking pride in your abilities. It's about a deep, unshakable understanding that your value is inherent and that you deserve respect, love, and fulfillment simply because you exist. This recognition of worth changes the way you view yourself, others, and the world around you. It shifts how you allow yourself to be treated, the goals you set, and the quality of life you expect. When you understand your worth, you stop settling for less than you deserve and begin creating a life that reflects your true value. Many people struggle with recognizing their worth because they have been conditioned to believe that their value is tied to external factors such as their achievements, appearance, or the approval of others. Society often reinforces these beliefs, making it easy to slip into the trap of thinking that you must earn your worth. But worth is not something you earn, it's something that is already yours. It is not based on what you do, how you look, or how others perceive you. Your worth is intrinsic, constant, and unchanging. No failure, rejection, or criticism can take it away, because it is not tied to any condition. Realizing your worth involves turning inward and connecting with the core of who you are. This can be a vulnerable process because it requires letting go of the external measures you may have clung to for validation. It asks you to confront the fears, doubts, and insecurities that have kept you from fully embracing yourself. But in doing so, you begin to see that beneath all the layers of expectation and judgment, there exists a powerful, valuable essence that needs no approval. This essence is unique to you and cannot be replicated or diminished by anyone else. Once you recognize your worth, you naturally start setting higher standards for yourself and your relationships. You no longer tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or situations that compromise your well-being. Instead, you attract people and experiences that honor and support your true self. Your relationships become healthier and more fulfilling because they are built on mutual respect rather than neediness or fear. You no longer feel pressured to please others at the expense of your own happiness, and you find the strength to walk away from what doesn't serve you. This newfound clarity allows you to create a life that aligns with your values and passions, a life where you feel genuinely fulfilled. When you know your worth, you also become more resilient. Challenges, setbacks, and criticisms no longer shake your foundation because you understand that they do not define you. You view difficulties as opportunities for growth rather than threats to your self-esteem. With this mindset, you can approach life's challenges with a sense of calm and confidence, knowing that your worth remains intact no matter the outcome. This resilience gives you the courage to pursue your dreams boldly, take risks, and step out of your comfort zone. You realize that you are worthy of success and happiness, and you stop allowing fear to hold you back. Another benefit of recognizing your worth is that it allows you to appreciate others without feeling diminished. When you are secure in your own value, you can celebrate others' achievements and qualities without comparing yourself or feeling envious. This sense of inner worth creates a foundation for genuine connection and compassion, enabling you to see the unique value in everyone without losing sight of your own. You become more open, loving, and supportive, because you understand that another's light does not dim your own. Recognizing your worth enables you to live with greater authenticity. You stop pretending to be someone you're not or hiding parts of yourself to fit in or gain approval. You embrace your true self, flaws and all, and present that self to the world with confidence. This authenticity is powerful. It attracts people and opportunities that resonate with your true nature and allows you to live a life that feels meaningful and genuine. When you honor your worth, you give yourself permission to be fully alive, to express yourself freely, and to pursue what makes you happy. This journey of recognizing your worth is not always easy. There will be times when you doubt yourself, when old insecurities resurface, or when others challenge your sense of value. But with each step forward, you strengthen your belief in yourself, and over time this belief becomes unbreakable. You realize that you are enough just as you are, that you have always been enough, and that your worth was never in question. Embracing this truth is a gift you give to yourself, one that transforms every aspect of your life, and allows you to shine with the unique brilliance that is uniquely yours. Creating space for new possibilities is a powerful act of self-renewal, allowing you to invite fresh experiences, relationships, and ideas into your life. It involves letting go of the things, thoughts, and habits that no longer serve you, making room for growth and transformation. Just as a gardener clears away dead leaves and weeds to nurture new plants, creating space in your life allows your dreams, goals, and desires to flourish. When you actively make space, you open up to opportunities that might otherwise remain hidden behind clutter, both physical and mental. Often we hold on to things out of comfort or habit, even when they no longer align with who we are or where we want to go. This can range from physical belongings to outdated beliefs, unfulfilling relationships, and routines that drain rather than energize us. When these things fill up our lives, they consume energy and attention that could be directed toward new, fulfilling pursuits. By clearing them away, we create a blank slate, an inviting openness that welcomes the unknown, where new possibilities can grow and evolve. One of the first steps in creating space for new possibilities is examining your physical environment. Your surroundings reflect and influence your inner state. Clutter, disorganization, or excess can create mental fog and make it difficult to focus on what truly matters. By decluttering your physical space, removing items you don't need, reorganizing, and creating an atmosphere of simplicity and calm. You send a message to yourself that you are ready to receive something new. A clear, harmonious environment can inspire and support you in exploring new ideas and pursuing new experiences. Creating space is not limited to the physical, it's also about letting go of limiting beliefs and emotional baggage that weigh you down. Over time, we may develop beliefs about ourselves and our capabilities based on past experiences or societal expectations. These beliefs can be powerful barriers to growth, keeping us in a cycle of familiarity instead of expanding into new realms of possibility. Perhaps you've always told yourself that you're not creative or capable of a particular goal. By questioning and releasing these limiting beliefs, you begin to see yourself in a new light, free from the constraints of old narratives. You replace these beliefs with affirmations of possibility, allowing yourself to grow in ways you may not have previously imagined. Our relationships also play a crucial role in creating space. Some relationships can be supportive and nourishing, while others may drain your energy or hold you back. Creating space for new possibilities may involve setting boundaries, distancing yourself from relationships that don't support your growth, or seeking out connections that uplift and inspire you. This doesn't mean you have to sever ties with everyone who doesn't align with your path, but it does mean recognizing which relationships enhance your life and which ones may be limiting your potential. Another way to create space is by adjusting your daily routines and habits. Our days are often filled with tasks and activities that leave little room for reflection, creativity, or exploration. By simplifying your schedule and intentionally setting aside time for rest, creativity, or new experiences, you create mental and emotional space for possibilities to emerge. It could be as simple as taking a walk in nature, practicing mindfulness, or engaging in a hobby that excites you. These small changes allow you to break free from routine and connect with your deeper desires and aspirations. Creating space for new possibilities also involves trusting the process and embracing uncertainty. Letting go of what's familiar can feel unsettling, but this openness is where the magic of new experiences begins. When you release control and let life unfold, you allow space for the unexpected. You create room for the serendipitous encounters, ideas, and opportunities that can lead to profound growth and change. In this openness, you can begin to see paths you hadn't considered and possibilities that were once hidden. This space is not merely emptiness, it is fertile ground for whatever you wish to invite into your life. By making room in your mind, heart, and environment, you signal your readiness for transformation and growth. This openness becomes an invitation to the universe to bring you new experiences and opportunities aligned with your true desires. As you create this space, you become more attuned to subtle signs and insights that guide you toward your next steps. Your perspective broadens and you become willing to explore paths that might have seemed impossible before. Creating space for new possibilities is an act of self-love and empowerment. It reflects a deep trust in yourself and in the process of life, recognizing that you are worthy of growth, new experiences, and fresh beginnings. By clearing away what no longer serves you, you honor your evolving self and create an environment where your dreams and aspirations can take root and flourish. Embrace this space with excitement and curiosity, knowing that each step you take toward openness brings you closer to a life of greater fulfillment, freedom, and possibility. In conclusion, recognizing your worth, standing in the authority of your decisions, and creating space for new possibilities are profound steps toward a more fulfilling life. Each of these elements plays a crucial role in empowering you to live authentically and intentionally. As you embark on this journey, remember that your worth is intrinsic and unshakable, and your decisions shape the life you desire. By letting go of what no longer serves you, you create a fertile ground for new experiences and opportunities to flourish. Thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts with you today. Embrace your worth, trust your decisions, and open yourself to the endless possibilities that await you. Your journey is uniquely yours, and the world is eager to see the incredible things you will create. In silence, there is strength, a quiet, unshakable force that needs no words to express itself. When you decide to leave, you need not explain, justify, or convince anyone. A silent departure is the truest form of self-respect, a gentle but unyielding reminder that your peace is not up for negotiation. True freedom often reveals itself in the quiet, unassuming act of simply leaving without a sound. A silent departure holds immense power because it strips away the need for validation or understanding from others, bringing the focus back to oneself. There is no seeking of approval or justification, rather. It is an expression of self-assurance and inner peace. When one leaves silently, they choose a path that rises above the noise of explanations, arguments, or lingering attachments, embracing a sense of freedom that speaks volumes without uttering a single word. Quietly is not about hiding or retreating, it is about letting go with grace, knowing that words are often unnecessary. This act of departure reflects a profound realization that our lives and decisions do not need to be understood by others to hold value. In fact, by silently stepping away, we make a powerful statement that the only validation we require is our own. This freedom is not given by anyone else, nor does it depend on the reactions of others. It is an unshakable truth that exists within us, reminding us that we do not need to seek affirmation outside ourselves. When one leaves silently, they also free themselves from the patterns of reaction and resistance that tend to drain energy. So often we get caught up in explaining ourselves, hoping others will see our perspective, or feeling compelled to resolve conflicts before moving on. But a quiet departure bypasses these demands. It honors a deep sense of self-worth that is rooted in peace rather than in drama. By choosing silence, we say, I am at peace with my decision, and I don't need your permission or understanding. This approach fosters inner stability, where we remain centered and resilient, regardless of how others might perceive our choices. A silent departure places trust in the natural unfolding of life. It embodies the belief that what needs to be understood will be understood in its own time, without our having to enforce or explain it. It is a quiet confidence that the universe will respond in alignment with our inner peace. There's a ripple effect in choosing silence, an energetic resonance that doesn't need words to make its presence felt. Often, those left wondering at our quiet departure come to understand its significance on their own. Silence, paradoxically, speaks powerfully and can leave a lasting impact on those we leave behind. This silent freedom also invites introspection and transformation within ourselves. As we depart from a situation without the weight of explanation or justification, we open a path inward, allowing us to process our growth and evolution privately. There is no need to perform our transformation for an audience. Instead, we give ourselves the space to experience change authentically, without external influences. In this way, a silent departure becomes a profound gift to ourselves, a doorway to self-discovery that exists beyond the expectations of others. Leaving silently, then, is one of the most liberating acts we can embrace. It is a form of self-liberation that transcends words, making room for peace, self-assurance, and a deeper connection with our own truth. Detachment, often misunderstood as coldness or indifference, actually holds profound strength and wisdom. True detachment doesn't mean cutting off all emotions or connections, rather. It involves maintaining a balanced perspective that allows us to engage in life without being bound by expectations or outcomes. In detachment, there is freedom from the weight of constant validation, freedom from the need for control, and freedom from the suffering that arises from clinging to things or people. When we learn to detach, we reclaim our power and embrace the strength that comes from a calm, centered mind. Being detached allows us to observe our lives with clarity. We are no longer lost in the highs and lows of external events, nor are we overly influenced by the opinions of others. In a state of detachment, we cultivate a resilient inner foundation that is unaffected by the temporary shifts in the external world. We begin to understand that our worth and happiness are not tied to specific outcomes or the validation of others. This shift grants us peace of mind because we stop relying on situations, relationships, or achievements to provide us with a sense of value or identity. Detachment, then, is not about lack, it is about recognizing that our fulfillment comes from within. In practicing detachment, we also develop a deep trust in the natural flow of life. By not clinging to outcomes, we open ourselves up to possibilities beyond our control and imagination. When we resist the urge to force situations to unfold in a specific way, we allow life to surprise us. This detachment becomes a partnership with the unknown, a trust that whatever comes our way is part of a greater journey. By relinquishing control, we become more adaptable and resilient, able to navigate the twists and turns of life with greater ease and confidence. This adaptability is itself a form of strength, as it allows us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Detachment strengthens our relationships. When we are not overly attached to others for our own happiness, we free them from the weight of our expectations. We can appreciate them for who they are rather than what they can give us. This form of detachment creates healthier, more balanced connections. We no longer seek to possess or control others, but instead appreciate the flow and exchange of energy that relationships bring. In detachment, we can love freely, without fear or dependency, because we are rooted in our own sense of self. Detachment also allows us to accept things as they are, rather than constantly trying to change or resist reality. This acceptance is not passive, rather, it is a conscious acknowledgement that while we may have influence, we do not have absolute control. By detaching from the outcome, we can approach situations with an open mind and a balanced heart, prepared to let go if necessary. Detachment gives us the strength to surrender to life's uncertainties with courage and composure, embracing whatever comes with grace. Detachment is a source of immense inner power. It frees us from the bonds of dependency, expectation, and control, allowing us to live with integrity and authenticity. We learn to rest in our own being, cultivating a steady sense of self that endures regardless of external circumstances. In detachment, there is both liberation and profound strength, a strength that enables us to face life's complexities with an open heart and a calm spirit. Elevating above reaction is a powerful practice that invites us to cultivate a state of inner calm and resilience in the face of life's challenges. In our daily lives, we are often bombarded by external stimuli, opinions, criticisms, stressors, and unexpected events that can provoke immediate emotional responses. However, when we learn to rise above these reactions, we gain the ability to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. This transformation shifts our focus from merely reacting to engaging with life from a place of strength, awareness, and intention. To elevate above reaction begins with self-awareness. It requires us to recognize our triggers, those specific situations, words, or actions that elicit a strong emotional response. By identifying these triggers, we can begin to understand the underlying beliefs or insecurities that fuel our reactions. This understanding is crucial, as it empowers us to respond to situations rather than be controlled by them. Self-awareness becomes the first step in breaking the cycle of automatic reactions, enabling us to pause and consider our responses. In this space of awareness, we cultivate the practice of mindfulness. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, allowing us to create a distance between ourselves and our reactions. Instead of being swept away by anger, fear, or frustration, we learn to acknowledge these feelings as temporary and fleeting. By observing our emotional landscape, we become more adept at recognizing that our initial reactions do not define us. This realization fosters a sense of control and clarity, allowing us to choose a response that aligns with our true values and intentions. Elevating above reaction also involves developing emotional resilience. Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity, and it is a skill that can be cultivated over time. When faced with challenging situations, resilient individuals are more likely to take a step back, assess the situation objectively, and respond in a way that reflects their deeper values rather than their immediate emotional state. This ability to pause and reflect creates space for thoughtful action, empowering us to navigate difficulties with grace and composure. Rising above reaction fosters healthier relationships. When we engage with others from a reactive place, our interactions can quickly spiral into misunderstandings, conflicts, or hurt feelings. However, by choosing to respond mindfully, we create a space for open communication and mutual understanding. This approach invites others to feel heard and respected, as we engage with them from a place of calm rather than defensiveness. In this way, elevating above reaction not only strengthens our own emotional state, but also enhances the quality of our relationships. Furthermore, this practice cultivates a sense of personal empowerment. When we stop allowing external events to dictate our emotional state, we reclaim our power. We become the authors of our responses, taking charge of our emotional well-being. This shift creates a profound sense of autonomy, enabling us to navigate life's ups and downs with confidence and poise. In recognizing that we can control our responses, we build a foundation of inner strength that remains intact even in the face of adversity. Elevating above reaction is a journey of self-mastery. It requires commitment, patience, and practice, but the rewards are immeasurable. We learn to live with intention, responding to life's challenges with wisdom and grace rather than impulsiveness. This elevation allows us to align our actions with our values, fostering a deeper sense of fulfillment and purpose in our lives. As we cultivate this practice, we not only transform our own experience, but also positively impact those around us, creating a ripple effect of mindfulness, compassion, and strength in the world. Inner resolve is a profound power that resides within each of us, often waiting to be called upon during moments of challenge and uncertainty. It is the quiet determination that drives us to pursue our goals, navigate obstacles, and maintain our integrity in the face of adversity. This power stems from a deep understanding of our values, beliefs, and desires, serving as a guiding force that shapes our actions and decisions. When we cultivate inner resolve, we unlock a reservoir of strength that enables us to navigate life's complexities with confidence and purpose. At its core, inner resolve is about clarity of purpose. It begins with a profound understanding of what truly matters to us, our aspirations, values, and passions. This clarity allows us to set meaningful goals and establish a path that resonates with our authentic selves. When we are clear about our intentions, we are more likely to remain focused and committed, even when faced with obstacles. Inner resolve fuels our motivation, providing the energy needed to persevere through challenges and stay true to our course. Inner resolve fosters resilience. Life is often unpredictable, filled with unexpected twists and turns that can test our strength and determination. In these moments, it is our inner resolve that empowers us to rise above difficulties. Instead of succumbing to despair or frustration, we tap into our unwavering commitment to our goals and values. This resilience allows us to bounce back from setbacks, learn from our experiences, and emerge stronger than before. We understand that challenges are not roadblocks, but opportunities for growth and transformation. Cultivating inner resolve also involves embracing a mindset of self-belief. It is the understanding that we have the capacity to overcome obstacles and achieve our aspirations. This belief in ourselves acts as a protective shield against self-doubt and external negativity. When we encounter criticism or discouragement, our inner resolve reminds us of our capabilities and reinforces our commitment to our path. This unwavering belief in ourselves fosters a sense of confidence that propels us forward, even in the face of uncertainty. Furthermore, inner resolve enhances our decision-making process. When we are grounded in our values and beliefs, we are better equipped to make choices that align with our true selves. This alignment creates a sense of authenticity in our actions, allowing us to navigate life with integrity. Rather than being swayed by external pressures or fleeting desires, we remain steadfast in our commitment to our goals. This clarity empowers us to make choices that reflect our inner truth, leading to greater satisfaction and fulfillment in our lives. Inner resolve encourages us to embrace discomfort and uncertainty. Many of our greatest achievements lie just beyond our comfort zones, and it is our inner resolve that emboldens us to take those necessary risks. Instead of shying away from challenges or fearing failure, we embrace the discomfort that comes with growth. This willingness to step into the unknown opens doors to new opportunities and experiences, allowing us to expand our horizons and realize our full potential. The concept of letting the universe respond is rooted in the belief that we are interconnected with a greater force, a cosmic energy that aligns with our intentions and desires. This perspective encourages us to release our need for control and instead trust in the natural unfolding of life. When we let go of the need to dictate every outcome, we create space for the universe to work in our favor, manifesting our dreams and aspirations in ways we might not have anticipated. At the heart of this idea is the understanding that the universe operates on a frequency of energy and vibration. Every thought, intention, and desire we emit sends ripples into this vast cosmic field. When we align our thoughts and emotions with our deepest desires, we resonate with a higher frequency that attracts corresponding experiences. This process is not merely about wishful thinking, it requires a genuine belief in the possibility of our aspirations. When we trust that what we desire is attainable, we set into motion a series of events that can lead us to the fulfillment of those desires. Letting the universe respond also means releasing the grip of attachment to specific outcomes. It is essential to recognize that while we may have clear intentions, the universe often has a broader perspective. What we may see as the ideal path or solution might be limited by our current understanding. By letting go of rigid expectations, we open ourselves to unexpected opportunities and avenues that may lead us to even greater fulfillment. This does not imply passivity, rather, it is an active engagement with life, where we remain open to the possibilities that arise. In practicing this surrender, we cultivate patience and trust. The timing of the universe may not align with our own timelines, and that is where faith comes into play. Trusting the universe means understanding that everything happens in its own time, and that delays or obstacles may serve a purpose. Perhaps the universe is preparing us for something greater or guiding us toward a path that better serves our growth. By maintaining faith in this process, we build resilience and remain open to the lessons that accompany our journey. Letting the universe respond requires a deep connection with our intuition. As we become attuned to our inner voice, we gain insight into the subtle nudges and signals that guide us. These intuitive feelings often serve as a bridge between our desires and the universe's response. By listening to our intuition, we can make decisions that align with our true selves, creating a harmonious relationship between our intentions and the unfolding of life. This practice also fosters a sense of gratitude. When we trust the universe to respond to our desires, we begin to notice the signs and synchronicities that emerge in our lives. Recognizing these moments as gifts helps us appreciate the unfolding journey rather than fixating solely on the end goal. Gratitude shifts our focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing the belief that the universe is conspiring in our favor. Letting the universe respond is an invitation to embrace the dance of life with an open heart and an open mind. It encourages us to flow with the currents of existence rather than struggle against them. In this state of surrender, we discover a deeper sense of peace and fulfillment, knowing that we are part of a larger tapestry of creation. As we align our intentions with the rhythms of the universe, we not only attract our desires but also cultivate a profound trust in the journey itself, recognizing that each step, twist, and turn contributes to our ultimate growth and evolution. Transformation is often thought of as a visible, dramatic shift, a grand unveiling of new identities or accomplishments. However, some of the most profound changes occur beneath the surface, subtly reshaping our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors in ways that are not immediately apparent. Allowing transformation to occur unseen is an invitation to embrace the quiet, internal shifts that pave the way for significant growth. This process recognizes that true change often begins within, away from the eyes of the world. When we allow transformation to happen out of sight, we create a nurturing space for introspection and self-discovery. This internal work is essential for meaningful change, as it helps us examine the beliefs and patterns that may be holding us back. By turning inward, we can identify limiting thoughts, emotional triggers, and unresolved issues that need to be addressed. This self-awareness acts as a catalyst for change, enabling us to release what no longer serves us and make room for new possibilities. The journey of unseen transformation often involves cultivating patience. In a society that glorifies instant results and external validation, it can be challenging to accept the gradual nature of internal change. However, just as seeds take time to germinate before breaking through the soil, our inner work requires a nurturing period. By allowing ourselves the grace to evolve at our own pace, we trust that the transformation is taking root, even if it isn't visible to the outside world. This patience fosters resilience, encouraging us to remain committed to our personal growth journey despite external pressures or expectations. The unseen transformation is often deeply tied to the cultivation of self-compassion. As we embark on this inner journey, we may encounter parts of ourselves that we wish to change or hide. However, embracing these aspects with kindness and understanding is essential for genuine growth. Self-compassion allows us to acknowledge our struggles without judgment, creating a safe space for healing and transformation to unfold. When we approach ourselves with love, we enable deeper shifts to occur, often without the need for external acknowledgement. As we navigate the unseen aspects of transformation, we may also discover the importance of intention. Setting clear, heartfelt intentions helps guide our internal shifts, providing a framework for our personal evolution. Unlike goals that demand specific outcomes or timelines, intentions focus on the qualities we wish to embody, such as courage, authenticity, or peace. This focus shifts our perspective from a fixation on results to an appreciation of the journey itself, allowing us to celebrate the small, unseen changes that contribute to our overall growth. Allowing transformation to occur unseen also opens the door to deeper connection with ourselves and others. As we become more attuned to our internal changes, we develop a heightened sense of empathy and understanding for the struggles of those around us. This shared experience of growth fosters a sense of community, reminding us that everyone is navigating their own unseen transformations. By supporting one another in this process, we cultivate an environment of encouragement and acceptance, where individual journeys can thrive without comparison or competition. Unseen transformation empowers us to embrace the uncertainty of life. In allowing change to unfold organically, we relinquish the need to control every outcome. This acceptance fosters a sense of freedom, inviting us to explore new paths and possibilities without fear of judgment. As we navigate the unknown, we develop resilience and adaptability, learning to trust in our ability to evolve, regardless of external circumstances. Allowing transformation to occur unseen is a journey of self-discovery, patience, and trust. It recognizes the value of internal shifts that may not be immediately visible, but lay the foundation for profound growth. By nurturing this unseen evolution, we cultivate a deeper connection with ourselves, allowing our true essence to emerge with grace and authenticity. In this quiet, transformative process, we find the strength to embrace change and step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. In conclusion, the journey of transformation, whether seen or unseen, is a profound and deeply personal experience that invites us to embrace the changes within ourselves. By allowing transformation to occur out of sight, we foster self-awareness, patience, and compassion, creating fertile ground for meaningful growth. We learn to set heartfelt intentions and appreciate the gradual shifts that shape our journey, recognizing that every step taken in silence contributes to our evolution. This process not only deepens our connection with ourselves, but also cultivates empathy for others as we navigate our paths together. Thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts on the power of unseen transformation. May we all continue to embrace our journeys with openness and trust, allowing the magic of change to unfold in its own time. Let us journey within, for within lies the eternal answer to the question every soul seeks: who am I in a world eager to label, to categorize, to confine? It is an act of pure courage to turn inward and ask yourself this question. You may think you know who you are, your name, your past, the roles you play, but that is not the truth of you. Beneath those layers, beyond those definitions, resides the profound essence that is waiting for recognition. Identity is not a product of the world around us, it is a force, a reality that springs from within. Many of us are accustomed to viewing ourselves through the lens of the roles we play, the achievements we collect, or the relationships we form. We measure ourselves against standards handed down by family, culture, or society at large. But these are mere reflections of who we are, and reflections can distort. True identity is an inner reality, one that shapes our world rather than being shaped by it. This understanding is foundational to unlocking the life we desire and living in alignment with our deepest self. Our sense of self is often filtered through the expectations and labels that surround us from the earliest years. We are given names, assigned characteristics, and surrounded by definitions of success, failure, worth, and limitation. And so, unconsciously, we take these on as the truth of who we are. However, the deeper reality of identity doesn't conform to such labels. Instead, it lives within, in the seat of our awareness. This awareness is like an untouched field, unmoved by the world's judgments and impervious to its changing values. To discover this true identity, we must first recognize the profound power of our inner world, a world that operates independently of external forces. The outer world, by nature, is transient and subject to constant change. People change, trends come and go, and what was once celebrated may quickly fall out of favor. So when we base our identity on external markers, we become vulnerable to a never-ending cycle of validation seeking. We may achieve a goal and feel elated, yet the satisfaction fades because it is not rooted in our true self. Conversely, a failure might shake us, making us feel like less than we are, simply because our sense of self was too closely tied to the result. When we anchor our identity within, it becomes independent of external outcomes. We become the creators of our experience rather than passive subjects of external forces. To discover the reality of your identity, begin with the understanding that who you are is defined by what you believe about yourself. Belief is the bedrock of identity. No one can see it, yet it shapes everything. The beliefs you hold, whether conscious or subconscious, inform every action, every choice, and every response to life's circumstances. If you believe yourself to be limited, that belief will shape your experiences to confirm limitation. But if you believe yourself to be infinite, full of potential, then your life begins to reflect that truth. This is why self-discovery must involve a courageous and honest look within, uncovering any beliefs that have confined you and reshaping them to align with the vision of who you aspire to be. Imagination is the workshop of identity. It may seem at first that imagination is merely a tool for entertaining daydreams or wishes, but it is much more than that. The images and feelings we cultivate within ourselves create the essence of our identity. Every time you imagine yourself achieving a goal, experiencing joy, or living in alignment with your purpose, you are aligning with a higher vision of yourself. Over time, these repeated inner visions become part of your self-concept. Your mind accepts them as real and true, and your behavior, attitudes, and even circumstances begin to shift to match this inner image. Therefore, take time to imagine the version of yourself that you wish to embody, for in that vision lies the true nature of your identity. To truly know who you are, you must learn to silence the noise of the outer world. The opinions of others, societal definitions, and past experiences can cloud the purity of your inner vision. Spend time in reflection, in silence, allowing yourself to feel your own thoughts and desires unfiltered by outside influence. It is in this silence that you begin to feel the essence of your true self, the self that is constant, unchanged, and limitless. This inner self knows no boundaries and is not defined by any title or achievement. It exists simply and purely as awareness, a boundless space where all possibility exists. When you connect with this inner self, you no longer feel the need to conform or seek validation, for you understand that you are complete, whole, and powerful from within. Once you understand that identity is an inner reality, you are free. You are no longer tied to others' expectations or confined by circumstances. You can define yourself in the image of your highest desires, cultivating a vision of who you truly are and embodying that vision. As you do so, the outer world adjusts to match the strength of your inner conviction. It is a process of alignment where your beliefs, actions, and circumstances all begin to reflect the truth of your inner self. You may find that people treat you differently, opportunities appear that once seemed impossible, and life takes on a quality of flow and harmony. The greatest gift you can give yourself is to define yourself from within. This is not merely an act of rebellion against the world's definitions, it is an act of alignment with the deeper reality of who you are. When you live from this place, you live from a state of true power. You become the creator of your life, a life that reflects the magnificence of your own inner vision, crafted from the deep understanding that identity is not something you find outside. It is a reality born from within, a reality that only you have the power to shape. Is the core of who you are, the foundation upon which all experiences and perceptions are built. Often we believe that our identity is made up of the thoughts we think, the emotions we feel, or the roles we play in the world. But these are simply expressions, ever-changing aspects of our existence. At the deepest level, who you are is the awareness that observes it all. This awareness is constant, unchanging, and it is the seat of self, your true essence. By understanding and cultivating this awareness, you step closer to realizing a version of yourself unburdened by the fleeting nature of external circumstances. Awareness is like a vast open space, one that simply observes without judgment. Most of us, however, are caught up in the contents of our awareness thoughts, fears, hopes, desires. We identify so closely with these elements that they seem to define us, shaping our sense of self. Yet thoughts and emotions arise and pass away, each one temporary. The awareness that precedes these thoughts, however, is always there. It is the same awareness you had as a child, as a teenager, and now as an adult. No matter the changes in your life, this core of awareness remains untouched by time or events. This steady presence of awareness can be hard to grasp at first, because we are accustomed to attaching to things outside of ourselves. We say, I am angry, or I am successful, or I am a mother, a friend, a student. And while these statements describe certain aspects of our lives, they are not the entirety of who we are. When we identify with these temporary states, we limit ourselves. Awareness, however, holds all these experiences without becoming them. It observes without attachment, offering a perspective that transcends the highs and lows of life's circumstances. To understand yourself as awareness, it is helpful to start with observation. Begin by noticing your thoughts, rather than being swept up in them. Notice how thoughts appear, linger, and then disappear, much like clouds drifting across the sky. When you learn to observe your thoughts without judgment, you create space within yourself. You realize that thoughts are merely phenomena passing through, and you, the observer, remain untouched. This understanding is profoundly liberating. No longer do you need to cling to or resist thoughts, you simply observe them, recognizing that they do not define you. The same principle applies to emotions. Emotions, too, are temporary states that arise in response to various stimuli. When you feel anger, sadness, joy, or love, it can seem all-consuming in the moment. But if you cultivate the habit of observing these emotions, you realize they, too, are passing experiences. In this observation lies a subtle power. You begin to see that while you experience emotions, they are not the essence of who you are. You are the awareness that feels these emotions, but is not controlled by them. By connecting with this awareness, you gain a sense of inner stability, a sense of self that is no longer at the mercy of emotional fluctuations. Awareness also grants you the ability to respond rather than react. When you are fully aware, you can pause before making decisions, allowing you to choose actions that are in alignment with your deeper values and intentions. This quality of mindful response stems from knowing that, as awareness, you are not bound by the limitations of automatic reactions or habits. You become the creator of your responses, shaping your life consciously rather than being driven by unconscious patterns. Another profound aspect of awareness is that it is the source of connection. At the level of pure awareness, you feel a unity with all of existence. The boundaries that typically separate you from others begin to fade. You recognize that, just as you are awareness observing your experiences, others too are expressions of awareness observing theirs. This shared foundation brings a sense of oneness, compassion, and understanding. When you see others as they truly are, as beings of awareness, you can relate to them beyond judgments or superficial differences. This insight opens the door to authentic connections and a deeper sense of love for yourself and others. Living from awareness also means you find clarity in purpose. When you understand that awareness is the essence of who you are, you realize that life is not merely about accumulating achievements, status, or material gains. These pursuits, while enjoyable, do not define you. True fulfillment comes from living in alignment with your deeper nature, from expressing the qualities of awareness, peace, joy, compassion, and creativity in all that you do. From this place of awareness, you are able to approach life with a sense of purpose that is not based on external outcomes, but rather on the inner joy of simply being and creating. Cultivating awareness as the seat of self leads you to a life of freedom. You are no longer bound by the need to seek validation, approval, or fulfillment outside of yourself, for you recognize that everything you seek is already within you. The joy, love, and peace you desire are qualities of awareness itself. By resting in awareness, you live as the truest version of yourself, liberated from the limitations of fear, doubt, and insecurity. This realization allows you to embrace life fully, knowing that whatever arises, whether joy or sorrow, success or failure, you remain grounded in the unchanging essence of who you are. In living from this place of awareness, you become the conscious creator of your life. You are no longer subject to the shifting tides of external circumstances, for you know that the seat of self is always within, steady and unshaken. Through awareness, you discover a life that is deeply fulfilling, a life where you are truly yourself. This is the essence of freedom, the freedom to be who you truly are. Silencing external influences is essential to discovering the voice of your true self. In a world that is constantly vying for our attention, filled with societal expectations, opinions, media, and trends, it can be easy to lose sight of who we are. We find ourselves swept up in the standards others have set, reacting to the demands of the world, rather than living in alignment with our inner nature. Learning to quiet these external influences allows us to hear our inner guidance and connect with our own thoughts, desires, and values. This silence is not simply about avoiding distractions, it is about reclaiming our power to define ourselves from within. The external world has a way of pressing its standards and values onto us, often from an early age. Family, friends, teachers, and society all offer their views on what is right, what is possible, and who we should be. These messages become embedded in our minds, forming beliefs and expectations that we adopt as our own, often without question. But when we take the time to pause and reflect, we may find that these beliefs are not truly ours. They are conditioned responses, shaped by years of exposure to others' opinions. Silencing these influences is the first step toward freeing ourselves from inherited beliefs and allowing our true thoughts and feelings to emerge. Silencing external influences does not mean isolating ourselves from the world or rejecting others' opinions altogether. Instead, it is about creating a mental boundary that allows us to discern which influences serve our growth and which do not. To silence external noise, we must cultivate a habit of mindful awareness. This begins with becoming aware of the sources of information and influence in our lives. Consider the content you consume daily, the news, social media, conversations, and even the people you surround yourself with. Notice how each of these influences impacts your mood, thoughts, and beliefs. Some may uplift and inspire, while others may drain or sway you away from your true intentions. By bringing awareness to these influences, you begin to reclaim control over what you allow into your mind. One of the most effective ways to quiet external influences is through solitude. In solitude, we give ourselves the space to listen inward, free from the constant input of others. Taking time alone, even a few minutes each day, helps us reconnect with our own thoughts and feelings. Solitude allows us to question the assumptions we've taken on and explore who we are beyond the roles we play. In these moments, we can identify the beliefs that genuinely resonate with us and let go of those that do not. Solitude is not loneliness, it is a powerful tool for self-discovery. By embracing solitude, we strengthen our inner voice and gain clarity about what truly matters to us. Mindfulness meditation is another valuable practice for silencing external influences. Through meditation, we cultivate a state of presence that allows us to observe thoughts and feelings without attachment. When we meditate, we learn to recognize the constant flow of ideas, many of which are shaped by external sources. This awareness helps us separate our true desires and values from those that have been imposed upon us. As we deepen our practice, we become less reactive to external stimuli and more grounded in our sense of self. Meditation provides a mental reset, allowing us to return to a state of clarity and inner calm, unclouded by the noise of the world. Another important step in silencing external influences is setting clear boundaries. When we allow others to dictate our decisions, we give away our power. Setting boundaries involves being selective about who and what we allow into our mental and emotional space. This could mean limiting time spent on social media, reducing exposure to negative influences, or creating distance from individuals who do not respect our values. Boundaries empower us to protect our inner peace and stay true to our own path. When we establish these boundaries, we honor our own needs, affirming that our inner well-being takes priority over conforming to external expectations. Listening to our intuition is also key in silencing external influences. Intuition is that inner knowing, a quiet voice that guides us toward our highest good. Unlike external opinions, which often come with an agenda or bias, intuition is unbiased and aligned with our true nature. To hear our intuition, we must quiet the mind and create a space for it to be heard. By practicing stillness and trusting in this inner wisdom, we learn to rely on ourselves rather than constantly seeking guidance from outside sources. Intuition becomes a compass that guides us in moments of doubt, helping us make choices that honor who we are. Embracing authenticity allows us to silence external influences and live from our own truth. Authenticity is the courage to express ourselves as we are, without editing or modifying to fit the world's standards. When we are authentic, we no longer feel the need to please others or seek their approval. This authenticity strengthens our self-esteem and makes us less susceptible to external pressures. Embracing authenticity is a declaration that we are enough as we are, that our own voice and values matter more than the opinions of others. By being true to ourselves, we cultivate a life that reflects our true identity, rather than a version shaped by external forces. Desire is often regarded as a fleeting urge, a distraction from life's deeper meanings. However, true desire, when examined closely, is much more than a simple want. It is a mirror reflecting our purpose, the call to our soul's highest potential. Desire is an internal guide, drawing us toward experiences, goals, and ways of being that resonate with who we truly are. It reflects our unique purpose in life, connecting us to what is meaningful and fulfilling. By recognizing desire as a reflection of purpose, we come to see that our aspirations are not random but rather essential signals guiding us toward our life's intended path. When we feel a strong desire, it is often accompanied by a sense of longing, excitement, and even restlessness. This intensity stems from the fact that true desires originate from the core of our being. These are not mere whims or passing interests, they are expressions of our deepest values, aspirations, and dreams. When we examine our desires with an open heart, we can trace them back to aspects of ourselves that yearn to be fulfilled or expressed. They reveal parts of us that crave growth, creativity, connection, or achievement, each aligning with our purpose and path. Ignoring or dismissing these desires often leads to a sense of dissatisfaction, as it keeps us from expressing our true nature. Desires, when aligned with purpose, become the driving force behind personal growth. They propel us toward becoming the best version of ourselves, motivating us to cultivate the skills, qualities, and attributes needed to achieve our goals. A desire to create, for example, might encourage someone to develop skills in art, music, or writing. A desire to help others may lead to nurturing qualities such as compassion, patience, and understanding. In this way, desires serve as catalysts, urging us to grow in the areas that fulfill our unique purpose. By pursuing these desires, we are not only moving toward our goals, but also evolving in alignment with who we are meant to become. Many of us are conditioned to think of desire as something selfish or superficial. We are taught to suppress our wishes, labeling them as distractions from practicality or responsibility. However, denying true desires is to deny our purpose. Desire is not inherently selfish. In fact, it often leads to actions and accomplishments that benefit others and contribute to the world. When we follow a genuine desire, we are expressing our unique gifts and potential, often bringing value to those around us. Our purpose, after all, is rarely about isolation. It is about finding ways to contribute, connect, and leave a positive impact, and desires are the inner prompts that guide us toward that contribution. Consider the example of a person who feels a strong desire to teach and inspire others. This desire is likely a reflection of their purpose, a calling to impart knowledge and empower others. When they honor this desire, they engage in activities that align with their purpose, such as becoming a teacher, coach, or mentor. In doing so, they bring value to others, fostering growth and positive change. Had they dismissed this desire as trivial, they might have missed out on fulfilling a path that brings meaning not only to themselves but also to those they serve. Desire, in this sense, is the soul's way of directing us to our unique form of service in the world. Desire is also deeply linked to our emotions, which serve as indicators of alignment or misalignment with our purpose. When we pursue a desire that resonates with us, we often feel a deep sense of joy, peace, and fulfillment. Conversely, when we ignore or resist our desires, we may feel frustration, resentment, or a sense of emptiness. These emotions are signals from within, telling us whether we are honoring our purpose or veering away from it. By paying attention to these emotional responses, we gain insight into the desires that truly align with our purpose versus those that are merely distractions or surface-level wants. It is important, however, to distinguish between fleeting wants and genuine desires. A fleeting want is often rooted in temporary gratification, whereas a true desire is persistent and rooted in meaning. Fleeting wants are often driven by external influences, social pressures, trends, or the need for validation. True desires, on the other hand, stem from an inner calling that does not fade over time. They are steady, arising from our core values and personal vision. Cultivating self-awareness and discernment allows us to separate these surface-level impulses from the deeper desires that reflect our purpose. When we align with these true desires, we feel a profound sense of harmony, knowing that we are moving in the right direction. Honoring desire as a reflection of purpose requires trust. We must trust that our inner longings are not misguided but rather guiding us toward a path that is uniquely ours. It may mean stepping outside of societal expectations, taking risks, or pursuing goals that others do not understand. This trust in desire is an act of self-respect, an acknowledgement that we are the most accurate interpreters of our purpose. By following the desires that resonate deeply within us, we move closer to a life that is fulfilling and true. In understanding desire as the reflection of purpose, we begin to live a life that is aligned with our deepest truths. Desires are not obstacles but invitations, calling us to embody our fullest potential and fulfill our unique mission in the world. Each desire is a step toward self-discovery, helping us uncover the gifts and qualities that make us who we are. By listening to and honoring these inner signals, we not only find personal fulfillment, but also contribute to the world in a way that only we can. This is the beauty of desire. It leads us to our purpose, calling us to live a life of meaning, authenticity, and impact. Living as your ideal is a commitment to embody the highest vision you have for yourself, regardless of present circumstances. It's not just about holding a picture of what you desire, but rather actively stepping into that vision, letting it shape your thoughts, actions, and perceptions. When you choose to live as your ideal, you are deciding to make this vision a reality through your daily choices and habits. This process involves shifting your mindset, reorienting your behaviors, and aligning your entire way of being with the version of yourself you most aspire to be. The first step in living as your ideal is clarity. You must know who this ideal version of yourself is, and it's not enough to define it in general terms. Be specific, identify the qualities, habits, attitudes, and values this ideal self embodies. What does this person believe about life and themselves? How do they handle challenges and setbacks? How do they relate to others? The clearer you are about this ideal self, the easier it becomes to step into that role. This clarity acts as a compass, guiding your actions and choices, showing you exactly what you need to focus on each day to get closer to this vision. Once you have a clear picture of your ideal, the next step is to cultivate the mindset of that person. This is about transforming the way you think, feel, and respond to the world around you. Begin to notice any thoughts or beliefs that contradict your ideal self. For example, if your ideal self is confident and self-assured, but you frequently have self-doubt, it's essential to recognize this discrepancy. Replace these limiting beliefs with empowering ones. Affirmations and visualizations are powerful tools for this process. Visualize yourself acting, speaking, and thinking as your ideal self. This repeated mental rehearsal begins to solidify new beliefs in your subconscious mind, gradually shifting your perspective toward alignment with this vision. Mental alignment alone is not enough. Your actions must also reflect your ideal self. This involves taking consistent, intentional steps that align with the vision you've created. If your ideal self is someone who prioritizes health, for instance, begin by adopting healthy habits such as regular exercise and mindful eating. If your ideal self is someone who is financially responsible, start by making thoughtful decisions about spending and saving. Each action taken in alignment with your ideal self reinforces that identity, making it feel increasingly natural over time. The small choices you make daily are powerful. They add up to transform your reality, gradually molding you into the person you envision. One of the most significant challenges in living as your ideal is overcoming the pull of current circumstances. It's easy to become discouraged when your reality does not yet reflect your vision, but this is precisely where the power of persistence and faith comes in. You must hold steadfast to your vision, even when the physical evidence does not yet support it. The key is to focus on internal alignment rather than external validation. Trust that by embodying your ideal in thought and action, the external world will eventually catch up. Your job is not to force external changes, but to cultivate the internal alignment that naturally attracts these changes. A fundamental part of this process is learning to let go of old habits, patterns, and environments that no longer serve you. When you commit to living as your ideal, you may find that certain friendships, routines, or even mindsets no longer align with your path. It can be difficult to release these attachments, especially if they have been part of your life for a long time. However, letting go creates space for the new and is a necessary step in the journey toward transformation. Remember, you are not defined by your past, you are defined by the choices you make now. Every moment presents an opportunity to realign with your ideal self, regardless of past behavior. A powerful tool in this journey is self-compassion. Living as your ideal does not mean striving for perfection or expecting instantaneous transformation. Growth is a gradual process, and there will be days when you may fall short of your expectations. But during such times, it is essential to practice kindness toward yourself. Remember that each setback is part of the journey and an opportunity to learn and strengthen your commitment. Self-compassion helps you maintain resilience, keeping you motivated and focused on your vision, even in the face of challenges. Living as your ideal requires a commitment to continuous growth and improvement. As you embody your vision, you will discover new areas for development and refinement. The journey of self-realization is never truly finished. It is an ongoing process of becoming. Embrace this process with curiosity and enthusiasm, knowing that each step brings you closer to your ideal. As you grow, your vision of your ideal self may also evolve, revealing deeper layers of potential and purpose within you. Living as your ideal is a powerful and transformative commitment. It is not just a decision, it is a way of life that requires dedication, patience, and faith. By aligning your thoughts, actions, and beliefs with your highest vision, you gradually shape your reality to reflect the person you aspire to be. Through persistence, self-compassion, and a willingness to release the old, you create space for your ideal self to flourish. In doing so, you not only transform your own life but also inspire those around you, showing what is possible when one chooses to live in alignment with their highest self. To live as your ideal self, you embark on a journey of profound transformation and self-discovery. Each thought, action, and belief aligned with your highest vision shapes not only your own reality, but also ripples out to inspire those around you. Remember, this journey isn't about perfection, but about progress, about stepping each day closer to the person you know you're meant to be. By embracing growth, releasing what no longer serves you, and nurturing self-compassion along the way, you honor the immense power within to shape your destiny. Thank you for allowing this journey to begin here. May it lead you to the fullest expression of your true self.